please. Watoka wapi? Phase 2. Hatoke Ndamiayo na kusikia. Hata gari zangu zoshwa pale pale. Karibu hapa, gari 4. Mwanangu, mimi kazi yangu ni Kanda Warriors.
Kanda Warriors? Wale Red Indians.
The greatest rally in the world is back in Kenya. Catch all the action of WRC Safari Rally live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 from 24th to 27th June. See the world's best drivers navigate their machines on Kenya's rough terrain at breakneck speeds. Experience the thrills, adrenaline, drama and excitement as man and machine do battle. Don't miss out. WRC Safari Rally, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Eldoret, Chamge, get ready. The Insurance Open Day is here. The Insurance Regulatory Authority, in partnership with the County Government of Uasin Gishu, is bringing the insurance message to you. Join us from 16 to 18 June 2021 at the Central Primary School grounds and learn about insurance. Insurance companies and other financial regulators like the Retirement Benefits and the Capital Markets Authorities will be present to educate you on the various financial services and products available in the market. IRA officers will be present to address any concerns and clarifications on your insurance policies. Entry is free and all Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols and guidelines will be observed. Get to Eldoret. IRA, promoting insurance, protecting the insured.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for creating time to catch the latest in Kenya and beyond borders on this 16th day of the 6th month, the year 2021. We got a lot lined up for you today, including preparations by the Ministry of Interior ahead of the 2022 general elections. The country has also intensified the war against COVID-19. The government has moved to close Uhuru Primary School in Oljoro Orok in Nyandarua County. We'll be telling you why and what is happening to contain the situation, the spread of COVID in that particular region. Now, we want to kickstart this bulletin. My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma. Our sign language interpreter is Ann Wangeshi. The Ministry of Interior has begun preparations for the 2022 election cycle in a bid to avert chaos and lawlessness associated with polls. Interior CS Fred Matiang'i has instructed national government administration officers to begin to proactively engage the public on the need for peaceful elections. Matiang'i says his ministry will collaborate with other government agencies in the run-up to the election cycle to end lawlessness. Have a look.
Time is here for us to begin to socialize our people that it's not good enough to have peaceful elections. It's good enough to have peaceful and meaningful elections, that people understand really what this electoral process is all about. And all our agencies here, I mean, including the NCIC and institutions that we collaborate with in the criminal justice sector, although they're independent offices, so that we all plan on what we are going to do together to ensure that we shepherd the country through the electoral cycle.
Moving on to matters crime, police are seeking to detain a woman suspected to have been involved in the murder of a 19-year-old Najma Abdullahi Maalim in Mombasa last week. The prosecution has applied to have the suspect Faiza Ali Hassan detained for 14 days to allow police to conclude their investigation.
Faiza was the last person to be seen with Najma on Thursday last week after she visited the deceased at her home in Changamwe. The prosecution told the court that Faiza had been on the run after learning that police were looking for her. She then sought refuge in Eldoret and later tried to sneak back to Nairobi, where she was apprehended by police in the Kangundo area. Najma was found unconscious at Dogo Kundu area by Good Samaritan and taken to Port Reitz Sub-County Hospital, where she died while undergoing treatment.
His body was found unconscious. The deceased was found unconscious at Dogo Kundu area and was taken to Port Reitz Sub-County Hospital for medical attention. Unfortunately, the deceased passed away while undergoing treatment.
The suspect, Faiza, says she does not understand English or Swahili, forcing the court to adjourn the application for her detention. Elsewhere, an elderly woman was banned beyond recognition at her home in Kayenga location of Shiliangu, Kakamega County. Residents say the deceased was living alone at the time of her death.
Kiwa wewe uko na mama mzee, mama ambaye ni ajusa, mama ambaye ni hajiwezi, hakikisha kwamba umepangilia mipangilio, anaishi namna gani, anakula namna gani, analala wapi, na kila wakati hakikisha kwamba unamtembelea. Kama ndugu yetu angetembelea mama jioni jana, hakikisha amelala na mchukuu, huenda moto ungetokezea, hata mchukuu angeona.
Finally, Uasin Gishu Governor Jackson Mandago has condemned the killing of young girls that has been rampant in Moi's Bridge area of the county. The governor's condemnation follows the discovery of mutilated body of a 13-year-old girl, Linda Jerono, who went missing last Sunday. Police are trailing a middle-aged man said to be prime suspect in the alleged murder.
Now on to an unfortunate incident. 8 houses were last evening gutted by fire in KIAMBU town. The cause of the fire is yet to be established, although it is suspected to have started in one of the rooms used as a welding workshop.
Firefighters who responded in good time were able to contain the fire.
Kulikuwa na watu wengi kwa hiyo manyumba. Hapo chini ni wafanya biashara, kulikuwa na business shops. Hapo juu ni watu wanaishi juu. So tukakuja na askari na members of the public, tukatoa ya watu, evacuate about 20-25 people. Nobody was hurt, everybody was safe, and we have contained fire. So everything, there's no cause of alarm, everything is well, we have managed, and nobody was hurt.
County Enforcement Officer Felix Kagere has said there is need for KIAMBU residents to always have the all-important fire emergency telephone numbers.
Moto imetoka pale 4th floor, na tumesikia kiini chake kimetoka na mtu alikuwa anafanya welding. Unfortunately, but tumeita watu wa Kenya Power, wamezima stima, na tumeweza kuita watu wa county government, walikuwa wanapita na wamekuja at the right time, wameweza kuzima moto na hatuna casualties.
Tumeitiwa moto na firefighters wetu wamerespond in less than 2 minutes. Na haikuwa kazi rahisi sana, but with the skills tumemanage kuzima hiyo moto. Ilikuwa ghorofa ya 4, about 8 rooms. Zenye zimekuwa destroyed sana ni 4, but we have managed.
KIAMBU officer in charge of fire engines, Susan Wanjiru Chengesa, has said it is cumbersome to put off fire in some buildings whose construction does not adhere to prescribed rules and regulations meant to ease access in case of emergencies.
Now, moving on from that, a section of residents from Isiolo County have protested the arrest of former Isiolo North Member of Parliament Joseph Samal over alleged incitement. The residents have accused the National Cohesion and Integration Commission of selectively applying the law in dealing with hate speech and political incitement.
Former legislator Joseph Samal was arrested and arraigned in court for allegedly sowing ethnic division between communities in parts of Isiolo County. A section of his political base has, however, protested his arrest, arguing that the move was politically motivated.
Amani itafutwa na Mheshimiwa Samal, yale yote amefanya mabaya ambaye hawa wanajua na sisi hatujui kwa sababu ni kiongozi wetu, ikuje kwa meza tujue ni nini nakula kingine.
Samal allegedly issued inciting remarks during a church function in Garemara ward.
Sana kuona ya kwamba mheshimiwa shikwa kwa sababu ya kutetea jamii ambazo ni zile zinaitwa M37 including ile ya Waturkana. Na sisi tutasimama na mheshimiwa Samal na tafadhalini wachaneni na mheshimiwa wetu.
His supporters, however, say his sentiments were taken out of context.
Samal si kiongozi wa jamii moja. Yes. Samal ni kiongozi wa jamii zote. Kweli. Yeah. Na katika uongozi wake tumeona upatano kati ya jamii zote. Na tunaposikia ana insight tunashangaa ana insight kivipi?
Locals are calling on the National Cohesion and Integration Commission to treat everyone equally irrespective of their social standing.
From Isiolo to Murang'a County, residents of Kegumo in Murang'a County are up in arms over what they say is blatant discrimination against the youth in the allocation of casual jobs for ongoing projects. As Caroline Kamau tells us, traders in Kangari Market are also decrying poor sanitation, especially in the newly constructed Kangari Market. They have given the county government a 2-week ultimatum to address the grievances, or else they stop paying taxes.
Kangari town in Kegumo constituency is the largest town in Murang'a County. And though the town has benefited from various infrastructural projects, it seems residents here are not happy. They say while they embrace inclusivity, the youth here must also be considered for available jobs.
In terms of manual jobs and casual jobs and drivers and professionals, the road project and the market project. For instance, the market. The contractor from Chaka completed his work and came. He brought all his supervisors from Chaka. We are giving them ultimatum also. In 1 month, if we don't see our people being employed at Kangari Market, I would rather wasimame kwanza, watuambie we are hiring this staff, na this staff. Let some coins circulate in our economy of Kangari.
Residents have also raised concern over the Makutano water project in Kegumo, saying it may bypass the town.
There was a promise that there is water junction that is going to pass through Goroene, Kagare town, Irima, Mareira. But still, as the pipeline gets laid, we are not seeing that happening. And you're asking ourselves a lot of questions. Are we really going to be given water, or it will happen like the way it happened in Northern Collector Tunnel? We were promised water, but we were never given.
Traders at the newly constructed Kangari Market are also up in arms, accusing the county government of failing to clean the market. They say if the situation is not remedied, they will stop paying levies to the county government.
We have a major problem of toilets. Sanitation is very, very, very vital at this stage of corona. Now we don't have public toilet, but we were promised one by Muswasko. It was never done. We were promised another by county government, emergency. We don't have even one at Kangari Market. Traders are complaining and we have given them ultimatum of 2 weeks. They are wrong. We shall not pay any revenue.
Caroline Kamau reporting for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
Some good news for residents of KIAMBU. The tarmacking of 31-kilometer JUJA Farm Road in KIAMBU County has finally kicked off after decades of waiting. The road will link the villages of Athi, Mastor, Kilimani and JUJA Farm with a thicker superhighway and will be complete by June next year.
Narrated the terrible experiences they have had for long with the poor state of roads.
Tumekumbukwa. Shida ya wamama sasa imefika mwisho. Kwenda hospitali, kwenda hapa town, hatutakuwa na shida. Mkiangalia upande hii, unaona hata ile matawi iko huku imejaa vumbi. Hii vumbi yote ilikuwa ugonjwa.
They claim their farm produce have been going to waste due to challenges of accessing the markets. Limoni MCA Godfrey Mosheke commended the government for awarding the road to a worthy contractor.
Hii rami itakuja kufungua haya maeneo zaidi, kwa maana kilimo, biashara na wekezaji wengine ambao walikuja wakanunua ploti huku wakingoja kwamba rami iweze kutengenezwa ili waweze kujenga, tuna uhakika kwamba sasa watakuja.
Kuna mabadiliko makubwa sana, na hata sisi kama wanabodaboda tumefurahia kwa sababu tutapata wateja
ambao tutakuwa tukiwabeba.
The construction of the road was launched in 2019 at a cost of 280 million shillings, but never took off due to unknown reasons. The Kenya Rural Roads Authority has now taken over the construction, and the road is set for completion in June next year.
That story now takes us to our first break on KBC Lunchtime News. Please don't go too far. We still got more lined up ahead for you.
Bwana Motiso, pikipiki yako ndio hii. Uko shoni yangu. Hii pikipiki ni unakumbuka uniekelea the lowest unique bid yako ilikuwa ngapi? 18 shillings. Na unajua kuendesha hii gari? Kidogo. Haya, kitoko yako shika helmet, kifungu yako chomoka na mali yako.
Kujiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio ununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Every time I'm in front of the camera, I remember my culture.
After all, story ni yetu. Kama unadai drama origi, telenovelas na sports, get your GoTV decoder na 1-month GoTV Plus for 1,299 bob. Download my GoTV app kumanage account yako on the go, ama dial *423# kusubscribe, kupay, kureconnect, kuupgrade ama kuclear errors. GoTV, love it.
Kupata skiza tune ya Usifadhaishwe, dial *811 *815#.
Usifadhaishwe na mafanikio ya wengine ukihisi kwamba maisha yako hayana maana. Kumbuka, wengi huzungumzia tu mafanikio yao na si changamoto walizozipitia na ni mara ngapi walianguka. Tia bidii, muda wako utafika.
Ili kupata skiza tune hiyo ya Usifadhaishwe kwa simu yako, dial *811 *815#. *811 *815#.
Thank you very much for coming here for this event. This event was launching of the broadcasting rights for KBC for the World Rally Championship, the WRC Safari Rally for this year, 2021. Therefore, every Kenyan is going to be able to have an opportunity to watch every step and every action that is going on the rally. It's a great time for us. We're very excited that after 19 years, the rally is actually back here in Kenya. The President has put a lot of effort to ensure that this has happened, as well as the Ministry of Sports under CS Amina Mohammed, to make sure that we're going to see this great event come back to our country.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. www.kbc.co.ke is our website. Interact with us there as well. At KBC Channel 1 also, we'll be sampling your views as we continue with this broadcast. Now, moving on, Kakamega County Governor Wycliffe Oparanya has called on the county residents to embrace alternative dispute resolution mechanisms to help reduce case backlog in courts. Oparanya says backlog of cases remain a challenge in the judiciary, with some Kenyans forced to wait for as long as 10 years for the determination of their cases.
In efforts to address the challenge of case backlog in courts in Kakamega County, Governor Wycliffe Oparanya has called upon residents to explore alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, which include arbitration, mediation, negotiation, construction adjudication, and traditional dispute resolution mechanisms before resorting to the courts.
Wewe uende kotini
uharibu pesa yako, uharibu wakati wako, kwa sababu tuko na kesi ambazo zimekuwa kotini karibu miaka 10. Wengine wanakufa, kesi bado ziko kotini. Kwa nini hatutumii jamii kutatua hayo mambo?
Oparanya pointing out that land cases have piled up in the courts and remain pending for years, thus need to embrace other measures.
Kwa sababu nyinyi jamii ndio mnajua mpaka hii ya nani, hii shamba ilikuwa ya nani, watoto wa huyu mjamaa ambaye alikufa, mzee alikufa ni nani. Kama mnajua, kwa nini muende kotini?
The county boss said ADR mechanisms are entrenched in the constitution, saying there is need to create awareness and build capacity on the various avenues and benefits of alternative dispute resolution.
Na serikali kuu imeamua alternative dispute resolution ni halali. Nyinyi kama jamii mkikaa, chief wako hapa, assistant chief na administrator wangu wako hapa, na muamue, muandike chini, hiyo itakuwa ya halali. Hauna haja ya kwenda kotini.
Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm KIAMBU.
Now, youths in Nakuru have pooled resources to venture into a tree seedling project aimed at transforming their lives. The group, which was started 3 months ago, currently has 50 members and has since diversified into large-scale farming of indigenous and exotic vegetables. Nancy Okware with the details.
Kivumbini and Bondeni estates of Nakuru County have for a long time been synonymous with crime, drug and substance abuse, among other vices. However, a group of 50 young people under the Mazingira Youth Group have embarked on a mission to change the narrative. The project has since evolved into a money-making one, coming to the aid of young people who would otherwise be engaging in crime. The group shares 80% of total cash sales from the seedlings and vegetables among members, while 20% is placed in a savings account and will be later be paid to members in form of dividends at the end of the year. And in Narok County, hundreds of youth have engaged government officials and non-governmental organizations about their concerns and needs.
The young people have to feel that they're included. The young people have to understand that there are certain policies, certain instructions that are kept that are supposed to be beneficial to them.
We are going to do this in all the 47 counties to make sure that we mainstream youth development and initiatives in our planning for the future of this country. And that's why Kenya Vision 2030, see the Vision 2030 cannot be achieved without the youth.
The forum, organized by Vision 2030 Delivery Secretariat in partnership with the State Department for Youth Affairs, is banking on interactive youth engagement forums to accelerate the country's march to Vision 2030.
There's a lot of money which is held back by national government for youth, women and other affirmative action constituencies. It is very, very important that the youth avail themselves of these opportunities. Story ya kungojea gava ikam ikulete vitu nyumbani, hiyo haiko. Lazima uamke, lazima uende asubuhi, uende kwa ofisi, ujaze form. Hakuna option, lazima ujaze form, jaza form, apply for these things.
Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Now to the COVID-19 situation in Nyandarua County. The government has closed Uhuru Primary School in Oljoro Orok, Nyandarua County, after 8 pupils and 4 teachers tested positive for COVID-19. At least 70 pupils have for the last 5 days exhibited symptoms of diarrhea, vomiting and fever above 39 degrees Celsius. The county government of Nyandarua has consequently dispatched a team of health officials to the school to carry out tests.
Uhuru Primary School in Oljororok, Nyandarua County is the subject of concern after some pupils and 4 teachers tested positive for COVID-19 and 70 others taken seriously ill. The 70 pupils have complained of diarrhea, vomiting and fever above 39 degrees Celsius. The obtaining situation has forced the government to close the school for at least 2 days to allow the health department to assess the situation. The county government of Nyandarua says it is on high alert, urging schools to practice caution and adhere to COVID-19 containment protocols. Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
And our standoff is brewing between bar owners and security agencies in Kajiado County over what the investors claim to be multiple licensing formula imposed on them by the county government. The formula on single business permit was effected in January 2021. The members are drawn from bars in Kajiado East Sub-County.
Addressing the media after a 3-hour crisis meeting, officials of Kajiado East Bar Owners Association alleged that police officers have been breaking into their business premises.
Saa hii vile tunafanya kazi, chifu anakuja hata kama uko na barua na unafanya kazi ya haki, sio chang'aa tunauza, ni pombe halali ambayo imekubaliwa na government. Anakuja akikushika, anakuambia uchukue utoe stock yote kwa counter, wanabeba wanapeleka station. Ndio tunauliza hata kama umeshikwa na makosa, kubeba license zako na kubeba stock yako yote kupeleka station, hiyo ni haki.
They claim the trend has escalated in the last 2 months. Frederick Chege, patron of the Kajiado East Sub-County Bar Owners Association, accused the local administration and Kajiado Alcohol and Liquor Licensing Board of acting in utter disregard of a court order suspending all liquor licenses within Kajiado East Sub-County.
Shida ni mingi hapa sana. Kwanza hiyo mambo ya officers kuingia kwa bar, registered bar, wanavunja bar za members, wanakata kifuli, wanabeba pombe zote, stock yote, na masaa ndio hiyo ni machache sana. Tumetoka kwa mambo ya COVID. Hawa wanabiashara ni kuisha wanaisha. Na tunaomba serikali tukae chini, biashara ni legitimate, tusikizane vile biashara itafanywa.
Chege also claimed that the local security team has turned Isinya police station into an extortion center where bartenders are intimidated into buying their freedom.
Every week they are being told to pay 2,000 shillings and they are only working for 2 hours. And that is why we have got an issue with hours, because we are operating from 5 to 7.
Kajiado Alcohol and Liquor Licensing Board Chairman John Amarapash said the board is adhering to the court order suspending alcohol licensing, but was at pains to explain why county reinforcement officers are allegedly demanding the same from the bar owners.
And now on to matters politics. Former United Nations Conference on Trade and Development boss and 2022 presidential candidate Mukisa Kitui is calling for sobriety in public expenditure, claiming the country risks falling into a financial crisis. Mukisa says the country must find an alternative means of financing its development and ensure equal allocation of projects in the country.
Presidential aspirant Mukisa Kitui is urging the government to go slow on borrowing, claiming the country is on the brink of financial crisis amid its ballooning wage bill. Mukisa says money borrowed for development should be used to develop regions equally. Kitui said the government has failed to address concerns of farmers in the western region.
Haya madeni ambayo yametoka shilingi trilioni 1.9 2013 yakafika trilioni 8.3 2021 ni deni kubwa, 72% of our GDP. Huu utakuwa urithi wa watoto wetu.
Meanwhile, Samburu County Woman Representative Maison Leshomo is calling for the amendment of the law to financially empower the office of County Women Representative. The legislator says women representatives can do more with improved budgetary allocation.
Ile ofisi yangu iko ni kidogo sana. Ili hata ni ya kusaidia watoto form 4 kutoka form 1 mpaka form 4. Colleges, university, hiyo ofisi yana hiyo pesa kusaidia watoto kama hawa.
Elsewhere, Unilever has invested in a 5-year program to support women in business through various initiatives such as the financial literacy training and advertising.
We're doing this through a partnership with the Absa Bank and the UNITAR, which is a United Nations Training and Research arm, by administering a digital module that allows them to get training for 13 weeks on their handset. And after this, we believe that the women in business will be able to grow their business with the skills that they really need.
An estimated 100,000 women entrepreneurs are expected to directly benefit from the Sunlight Women of More program. The campaign is pegged on Sunlight's uplifting attitude towards women in the East Africa region. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
How can I ever thank you for what you've done for my son?
I did it out of love for your son. You don't need to thank me for that.
I gave you the very best of me. And you betrayed me.
Max, what if I told you I had to do that for a reason? A reason so strong that it drove me to do the things I did. Max, what's happening?
I have no idea.
Oh, no! Watch out! What do you want from us?
Who are you?
Don't
what are you doing?
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Hello.
Hamjambo.
Nzuri sana. Kidogo pack your own risk please. Watoka wapi? Jirani yako mimi natoka hapa phase 2 hapa.
Wewe unasema waka mashambani.
Mimi naishi hapa karibu phase 2. Hatoke ndani yayo na kusikia. Nataka gari zangu zoshwa pale karibu hapa gari 4. Mwanangu mimi kazi yangu ni Kanda Warriors.
Kanda Warriors. Wale Red Indians.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
They're just killing us because of the color of our skin. They're just killing us. And I just make the perfect melodies. Kisses.
Very spiritual, say man a real Rasta man, Rasta rude boy. This man a rebel.
Go give in, Rastafari, but the easy man is kiss him. Babylon don't got no flow on them now.
True love, and it feels like freedom and life.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
You promised to build a school for them.
I promised that?
Yeah? You didn't remember?
Where are you going? Get back here! Get back! What are you doing?
Going to build the school.
Are you crazy? Do you know how dangerous that was?
I'm going to build the school.
Cut the crap! You think that was easy to build a school? Are you gonna pay for it? Hello? Carry the bricks. Hello? Who's there? Hello?
Next on.
Binadamu ambaye hana tabia nzuri ni kama shamba isiyokuwa na mazao. Na aibu si kwa mtu kuwa fukara, bali aibu ni kwa mtu kukosa tabia njema.
Ndo mtu anajiita yeye ni Muislamu, lakini pamoja na Uislamu wake unamkuta huyu ana tabia chafu, ana tabia
Rahman, sa'idni ya Rahman, ishrah sadri Qur'an, imla qalbi Qur'an, wa asli hayati Qur'an.
Next on.
Ndo unaambie kama mimi ndo nyumba kubwa, huyo mwingine nyumba ndogo, ama nyumba ndogo na mimi nyumba kubwa.
Wangu jamani, mimi sina nyumba ndogo. Wala banda la uani sina.
Wajibikaji. Wajibikaji kitu gani? Kwa hivyo ni mbebe mgongoni.
Tosha, si kwa mjadalani hapa. Talaka unatoa utoi?
Talaka stoi?
Nakuuliza tena, talaka unatoa utoi?
Next on.
Sasa tumemsua watu watatu. Asidhani kazi stem atatoboa. Guy. That's all you can say.
Jazz anajua.
Jazz will be jazzed about it. See what I did there?
Let her through.
Unajua masida yetu ilianza ili wakati huyu mwanamke alikujaga kwa maisha yetu. Mambo yetu sasa ikaanza kwenda kukurukakara. Mnaweza tuhitaji?
Sana.
Tiffany, I need to reach Chris.
What will happen to Glenn and Eric?
Well, that's my business.
Good. As Chris is mine.
Nancy, you know you're the mother of chaos. We are here because of you.
No. We are here because of your identity crisis.
Si dwe. Mimi Nancy haujai nikulisa wala kukulisa watoto wangu wala kuwasomesha.
Are you sure?
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
I have already apologized. How many times do you want me to say that I am sorry? Is 5 times not enough? And by the way, what is he even doing here?
These are your students? How can you allow him to talk to you like that?
Who are you doing it for?
Teacher, what is happening here?
I can already see the beginning of the end.
Tija, just imagine you're a robber. How do you do it?
I am not a robber, neither do I plan to imagine being one.
Take back your notes. Huh? You can stay with your students and your sick school.
Wait, can't we talk about this?
Teacher, you know the lesson ended 5 minutes ago. Excuse me.
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC. Unichukulie kwa mfano ndani ya matatu.
Yaani mtu mzima na miaka zake hizo miaka zote. Mtu ajui kujua kuandika note. Note tu peke yake. Kusoma kweli itasaidia.
Nini nakusumbua na nini?
Nauliza. Ni bwana.
There. Insult me, okay?
Mama Angel.
Haya, kwani umepita? Nini wewe? Yaani wataka kumpiga. Huwezi mpika mpige nini?
It's now time for us to focus on matters business. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed the work culture in Kenya, with most companies deepening their IT infrastructure. A survey by Ernst & Young says the trend is global, with companies around the world adopting remote work, e-commerce and automation. Ernst & Young 2021 CEO Imperative Study says despite the COVID-19 pandemic, 6 in 10 companies around the world made profit, while 2 out of 10 diving into loss-making territory.
An estimated 5.1 million Kenyans in the informal sector lost their jobs between March and August last year after many companies shut their operations. According to the Federation of Kenya Employers, the 5 million job losses represent about 34% of all jobs in the informal sector.
The pandemic, as we know, has disrupted how we do business, calling to ensure business continuity and to build our sustainability and resilience. COVID-19 has also hastened the uptake of innovative ways of doing business, for instance, technology.
The Ernst & Young 2021 CEO Imperative Study indicates that in 2020, profit-making companies opted to significantly change their product and service mix by 38%, since they were focused on pursuing growth, while loss-making entities were more focused on reducing their expenditure.
So really, this just amplifies the gap between the big and the small, and certainly the thriving and those who are not. And if you think about it, for many of our economies, we've seen this across Africa and in many parts of the world, the gap between those with access, those who perhaps were more disposed and had more financial resource at their disposal seems to have widened from those who do not.
The study further found that 68% of CEOs plan a major investment in data and technology, while 65% expect to spend more on transformation over the next 3 years as compared to the last 3 years. 2 out of 10 CEOs say investments in transformation will be met through cost reductions, whereas 46% of them say they have investor support to make strategic investments even if they reduce near-term earnings. Alan Auko, Channel 1 Business.
Moving on, the Kenya Electricity Generating Company plans to cut green gas emission through investments in clean energy. KenGen is targeting to fetch close to 120 million shillings by investing in green energy projects. The energy firm says it has committed to the United Nations Charter on curbing green gas emission by disclosing its greenhouse gas emissions annually as a way of checking and reducing its carbon footprint.
Data on climate action indicates that if governments and businesses do not slow global emissions, temperatures could rise to about 3 degrees Celsius by 2100, causing irreversible damage to the global ecosystems. A campaign dubbed Business Ambition for 1.5 degrees has been started, backed by a global coalition of the United Nations leaders, business organizations, and non-governmental organizations. Currently, KenGen produces about 72% of the electricity consumed in Kenya, with over 80% of this being sourced from renewable sources. The company, which has a total installed generation capacity of 1,818 megawatts, has been focusing on renewable energy development, including the latest Olkaria 1 AU6 geothermal project, which is envisaged to add 83.3 megawatts to the national grid this year. Apart from green energy generation, the company is targeting the Clean Mechanisms Development Initiative. So far, Science-Based Targets organization indicates that over 500 companies representing more than $13 trillion in market capitalization have responded to the open letter from global leaders and signed the Business Ambition for 1.5 degrees commitment. Alan Auko, Channel 1 Business.
Now crossing the borders, the U.S. Transportation Department has filed a formal complaint over flights Air Canada cancelled or significantly changed due to the COVID-19 scourge. The U.S. Transportation Department said on Tuesday it was seeking a $25.5 million fine from Air Canada over the carrier's failure to provide timely refunds requested by thousands of customers for flights to and from the United States.
A formal complaint with a U.S. administrative law judge for thousands of customers to or from the United States using Canadian flights has been filed by the U.S. Transportation Department over the carrier's failure to provide timely refunds requested by thousands of customers. The U.S. Transportation Department says it is seeking a $25.5 million fine from Air Canada. The penalty is intended to deter Air Canada and other carriers from committing similar violations in the future. The department added Air Canada continued its no-refund policy in violations of U.S. law for more than a year. Air Canada said it believes the U.S. government position has no merit and will vigorously challenge the proceedings. The United States claims that the Transportation Department has received over 6,000 complaints against Air Canada from consumers who said they were denied funds for flights cancelled or significantly changed since March last year. Elsewhere, French court has ordered IKEA to pay a fine of $1.2 million after the Swedish furniture chain was found guilty of spying on staff in France. IKEA France was accused of using private detectives and police officers to collect staff's private data. This included illegally accessing their criminal records in order to vet applicants for jobs. The Inca Group, which owns most of IKEA's stores around the world, has apologized and condemned the practices. In a statement, the company said it had implemented a major action plan to prevent this from happening again. Finally, diplomats and trade experts say that a 5-year ceasefire deal in a U.S. and EU dispute over aircraft subsidies on Tuesday reflected progress. However, the underlying trade relationships remains fragile, with many unresolved disagreements. The two economic powers agreed to set aside tariffs on the $11.5 billion in U.S. and EU goods hit during the subsidy battle over Boeing Company and Airbus SE aircraft to focus on fighting China's clear ambition to build and sell its own commercial aircraft. Experts say the United States warning it could reimpose tariffs relates to the big outstanding differences over taxation of big American tech firms, that is, steel and aluminum tariffs, and reforms of the World Trade Organization. Tensions are also fraught because the Biden administration has moved slowly to review tariffs and other policies introduced by former President Donald Trump, hence frustrating European diplomats. Many key roles at the U.S. Trade Representative's office remain unfulfilled, complicating negotiations.
All right, thank you so much for watching. Wills Sam, you're just saying hello, hello. Thank you, and we appreciate your greetings. Oyando Wycliffe watching live from 045. Tyranny KE, loud and clear, live from Taita Taveta. Jameson Musyoki, you're tuned from Nunguni in Kilungu. Thank you so much for creating time to catch the latest on KBC Lunchtime News. Now, moving on, Kenya has been urged to emulate the kind of leadership style witnessed in China that has seen the country become one of the superpowers in the world. Speaking during the marking of 100 years of the Communist Party of China, University of Nairobi Vice Chancellor Professor Serfine Achieng Ouma hailed the party for the achievements made so far, particularly in tackling corruption, and urged Kenyans to borrow a leaf from China that has centered its economy on property.
The University of Nairobi Vice Chancellor Professor Serfine Achieng Ouma has lauded the Communist Party of China for transforming the lives of China's citizens, even as he called on the ruling party in Kenya to step up efforts in dealing with issues ailing the country.
We know that China has been able to achieve certain milestones over the 100 years, the century, where they have been led by this party, by focusing on the people, on transforming the people to lift them out of poverty.
Achieng Ouma says corruption remains a major stumbling block in Kenya and called on the Jubilee Party to rise to the occasion and arrest those squandering public resources.
We hear in this country that we have not contained it. And I don't think there is any country in the world which has contained it 100%. But they have, as a people, chosen the path that they will not accept impunity. That when you are involved in corruption, whatever the rank, that is not accepted. Because the resources that we set aside for certain activities, certain projects that are supposed to lift our people must be used for that cause.
China ambassador to Kenya, Zhong Pingjian, said the Communist Party of China has made huge progress as a result of leaders making it their responsibility to make a transformative change to the lives of its citizens.
This year marks the 100th birthday of the Communist Party of China. And I think everybody believes the CPC is a success story. It took the CPC 28 years to lead the Chinese people to found the People's Republic of China, the new China.
According to the ambassador, 850 million citizens who are living in abject poverty have so far been assisted. He says the country has also shown zero tolerance on corruption, with 2 million officials targeted so far.
China has made great progress in its modernization drive. We have achieved rapid economic progress, and we have achieved lasting social stability.
Timothy Kipnusu, Channel 1 News.
It's now time for us to focus on the sports news. Italy manager Roberto Mancini says his team can only improve despite an impressive start to Euro 2020 when they beat Turkey 3-0 in the opening game on Friday. Meanwhile, world champions France started their Euro 2020 campaign with a 1-0 win over Germany following Mats Hummels' own goal in a high-quality heavyweight Group F match. Kevin Durant scored 49 points, grabbed 17 rebounds and dished 10 assists. The Brooklyn Nets stormed back and beat the Milwaukee Bucks 114-108 in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals in New York. The Nets will have a chance to move to the Eastern Conference Finals on Friday morning. The Nets have not made it past the conference semifinals since 2003.
The Brooklyn Nets, who overcame a 17-point third-quarter deficit, lead the best-of-7 series 3-2 thanks to one of Kevin Durant's most impressive postseason performances that helped them beat the Milwaukee Bucks 114-108. Durant set a franchise record for points in a playoff game, breaking the mark of 43 set by Vince Carter in 2006.
Durant with a three-pointer over. Jay Tucker defending Kevin Durant, takes it to Durant. Durant out to Green for 3.
He also posted his second career postseason triple-double and joined Hall of Famers Oscar Robertson, Charles Barkley and Dallas Mavericks guard Luka Doncic as the fourth player with at least 40 points, 15 rebounds and 10 assists in a postseason game.
I wasn't planning on playing every minute, but as the game started to flow, we got down. I told Coach that, if he needed to take me out for a couple, it's cool, but I feel good, and he just let me ride it out. So, Jeff Green was incredible tonight. James coming out here and thugging it out for us, being another ball handler for us. I just think the second half he played extremely hard.
A different demeanor from Kevin. He was locked in from the start. We were trying to figure out how to play. With James back in the lineup, but him not feeling himself and trying to feel his way back into the game, and our guys trying to feel their way. And so it took us a period of time, I think, to find some freedom out there as a group.
Giannis Antetokounmpo led Milwaukee with 34 points and 12 rebounds. Chris Middleton added 25 points, and Drew Holiday chipped in 19 for the Bucks.
One of the best scorers to ever play the game. It's tough. It's tough. He's the best. He's the best player in the world right now, and we gotta beat him as a team.
The Nets would advance to their first Eastern Conference Finals since 2003 if they can win Game 6 on Friday morning in Milwaukee. Game 7, if necessary, will be played in Brooklyn on Saturday.
And that is all we had for you. Thank you so much for creating time. My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma, and Anne Wangeshi has been my co-anchor on the sign language interpretation. Have a lovely afternoon and keep watching KBC Channel 1.